Good morning and welcome to Clarity Social TV. My name is Barbara Gray and this is my dear friend Paul Church, and we're here to keep you company for an hour. Indeed. And we're launching something very special today, all about Pergamano and Groovi.
Yes, and you gave a sneak peek last night, didn't you, to our friends in the shack?
I did.
On what was coming up.
Yeah, so lots of you joined me yesterday, which was great. And we've got Jim in the gallery. Yes. Hopefully, I'm hoping that Jim will just give me a text to let me know that the sound is good and that we are good to go. And then other than that, good morning, come on in. We'll let some of our friends find us.
Absolutely. All good.
All good from Jim.
Thank you, Jim.
Thank you, Jim. Okay, so first of all, before we start, I would suggest that we do a little bit of housekeeping because this is social TV. And we've got lots of ways to shop with us. Maybe, Paul, you want to...
Yeah, so when we bring an item up on the screen, which Jim will do for us now, you'll see it'll have an item code on there at the top, which is a 5-digit number, 42401. You have an image of the product, you've got the title, and then you've got some prices underneath. So you've got one on this particular one that's been striked out because that's the RRP. And you've got a lovely saving on this, a £8 saving. I've got my goggles on. Okay, so you're only going to pay £39.98. However, if you belong to any of our Clarity Craft Clubs, you'll get either an additional 10, 12.5 or 15% discount. But how do you order? Across the bottom, you can see you can go direct to our website, claritycrafts.com, or you can give our UK call centre a
call.
Sue, downstairs. We'll have to get a little spy hole in the floor so we can see.
Yeah, or a fireman's pole.
Yeah. Or what was it, the old string and cup? And you can give the office a call on 01732 868 215. We ship internationally, so don't worry about that. Maybe you're tuning in from Europe, America, Australia. We've got you covered.
There we go. So those are the ways to shop. We've got a fantastic hour lined up for you. In fact, 2 hours. 10 o'clock and then 2 o'clock.
Yes.
We've done, let's go back a little way. Let's go back to Groovi. So we started the Groovi system in 2015?
15. I joined 16 and it had already launched.
It had already launched, right. And then a couple of years later, the Dutch guys offered us Pergamano. We bought Pergamano, which was obviously synonymous with parchment craft.
Yes.
So now we are the proud owners of Pergamano and Groovi. The way we see this here is that Groovi is like the design branch of parchment.
Like the paper patterns, isn't it? The Groovi plate just replaces the traditional paper patterns for the artwork.
That's it. So Groovi is very much the design part of the whole thing, and Pergamano is more the tools. But there is a kind of a bridge as well, where the Groovi system has evolved some of the Pergamano things. So for example, Pergamano used to do metal plates and metal grids, and we decided that acrylic grids would be better because you could see what you're doing, and also it doesn't blunt your tools.
That's right. And rip the parchment
and
as
rip
well.
the parchment too. So the fact that you can see through grids and through the Groovi plates is a great advantage.
And also the way in which the system's been created, because you have those laser etched grooves, it means that anybody can achieve a beautiful piece of artwork.
That's right. So today, let's talk about product today, because when you're on your Groovi journey, and you know this, we started in 2015 with a starter kit. And if Jim would be so good as to show us the starter kit, let's take it back to the beginning. Right, so if we look at the starter kit here, you can see, for example, in this starter kit, it's a very wholesome, it's a starter kit that you use again and again and again.
And it is, when you get it home, you can literally get started. You haven't got to buy this, you haven't got to buy that, it's there.
So if we look at the starter kit on your screens now, what we can see along the top, there is what we call a Groovi plate mate with the alphabets. It's got a hole in it.
Yeah.
Now that Groovi Plate Mate is your home for the plates that are in the lower row. So just bear with me a second, because if you go now, let's drop down to the lower plates, and you'll see there are large plates there, A5 square, and they will slot straight into that Groovi Plate Mate.
Yeah. So sorry, it houses it, doesn't it? Because you're going to tend to work with larger pieces of parchment. The plate mate will then actually hold your parchment secure, and you can lift it up and check and reposition it.
Can we take another look at that, please, Jim? I'd like that. Okay, so if we go back to that lower row, you'll see at the far end there is what we call an inset. It's got little tabs. That's a baby plate within a kind of a collar. Now that collar sits inside the plate mate, and then you can use smaller plates, aka baby plates, aka the little mini grids that this show is hinged on. So what I wanted to just explain was that if you've got the starter kit, or if you decide to get the starter kit, and I'm sure we've got the price sell for that, so we can bring that up in a moment, right? If you've got the starter kit, or you decide to invest in the starter kit, the code is 42144. And what you'll find is within that starter kit, a lot of what we use today will come from that kit. I.e. the Groovi Plate Mate, the inset, the black mat, the tools,
tumble dryer sheet, groovy tabs.
It is all included in that starter kit. What I think, what the general consensus is, it's one of those kits that you use every single time that you do parchment craft.
Friends have often said, well, it shouldn't be called a starter kit, because it isn't really. It's a starting place, but you don't sort of start with it and then go, oh, that's it, it's done and dusted. Because you just keep using it again and again.
That's right. So worth bearing that in mind as we go forward. If you're watching, and you've been watching for a while, and you watch Groovi and Parchment and Pergamano, and you've always thought, it's a little bit tricky, then the place to start is the starter kit. And what we're going to show you today with the grids and the booklet and the plates, even if you are absolutely a novice, really new to parchment, or you haven't done any parchment, this is very achievable. You could do this with no knowledge.
That's right. I mean, the book that Linda has written, so we've got this guide to grid work from Linda Williams.
So let's have a look at the two plates, and then we'll look at the first bundle. If we take a look here, my point being that when you look at the starter, the plate mate, right, it sits within the within there. So let's just show you what we mean.
So this is my well-loved plate mate from the starter kit, but if you pop that in there, it moves around. So this is where that inset collar you was talking about fits in there.
So then when you pop them in, they sit in there beautifully. So now you've got work. See, the point, you may be asking, what's the point of the starter plate mate? The reason that you need a plate mate is that if you didn't have that, eliminate that. If you were to use the parchment, what would you stick it to? How would you attach it? And also, you might crush the parchment by leaning on it on the edge.
And once it's crushed, it's crushed.
Yeah. So there you go. That's pretty much how that works. So what we did was, and Linda spent a long time doing this, we've got a guide that Linda's developed to using these grids.
The mini grids.
So in a nutshell, if you want to start grid work, which is that beautiful lace work and ideas, this is the traditional way to start. These are very affordable little grids.
Yeah. So we've got the book available on its own for many of our friends that already have the grids at home. But we also have a bundle where you can get the book and the two grids to get started.
Yes.
If you want the book on its own, it's 31723, and then Jim will swap that over.
No, the book and the grids together.
That's just the book.
Oh, that's just the book.
There we go. There's a bundle there. 21224. So you got a £6 saving. So basically, the book's half price.
So so let me just repeat that then. The grids and the book together, the code is 21224.
Yeah.
And you're saving £6, and it's £25.97 plus your club discounts. And if you've already got grids and you just want the knowledge, then the book is
about to change
to 31723, and it's £11.99 plus your club discount.
And the value on that £11.99 £9.99.
Should we have a little look at the book?
Yeah.
Let's have a look at the book then.
So there's two different types of grid, isn't there, Barb? There's a straight and a diagonal.
Yes.
So, and you can do different things with it. And that's what Linda breaks down in this book.
That's right. So we can go into the book in more detail, and we will, right? But I think what we also wanted to show you on the show, so we've got these two, then we had a bright idea, didn't we? And we said, we did. And what we said was, it might be a really good idea if we designed, this is Groovi coming to the party now, right? If we designed some kind of bite-size designs, right? Really nice front cards that are like practice plates.
Yes.
Like practice designs that are specifically designed. Jazz did this. We did it together. But the idea is that these plates that we're going to show you now, they are specifically designed to work together with the grids.
Yeah.
So if, for example, let me just show you the product first.
Yep.
Right, this is the pair of plates. So you can see here, these are two A4 plates. There's a lot of mileage on here.
There really is.
But each of these little designs is fantastic for practicing. And they've been designed specifically to play with the grids.
Yeah.
So in a minute, we should get the
graphics
coming up
for the collection.
No, we're struggling to find that, aren't we? Yeah, let's just scroll
It'll
through
be item
everything.
number 1 on the poll, Jim.
So it's
there we go.
So it's 42401, and this is what we've called Jazz's Rosy and Festive Sampler A4 Groovi Plate Duo.
Yes.
So these are two big A4 plates. Paul, what do you want to say?
Why is my hand not showing? We're on the wrong, on the overhead.
There we go.
So you can see how big this is. And you've got 12 different designs individually. And as you said, with the book from Linda, Linda's going to guide us through on what we can do with the grids. But once you know what to do with that, how do you put them into practice?
Exactly.
So this is where the plates, as you say, were designed to work beautifully alongside these.
They really do. If we just take one example, can we do that?
Yeah.
If we just take the hearts, for example, here, right, you know that you can just go straight to it. I tell you what we do want to do is show the plate mate that goes with this.
Yeah.
Only because having just talked about crunching this.
Yeah.
This obviously, this plate is A4. So it will not sit in that plate mate that we were just using. However, if we turn it around like that, Paul, maybe you could just show us how this works.
This is our alphabet and numbers plate mate. It comes to you in 2 parts. And you can see here, if I turn that the right way around, like so, it sits around, but you have these gaps, don't you? So, and obviously if you're putting it there, so this is where Dave, Mr. Clarity, came into play, and he introduced these spacer plates. So rather than selling you a plate mate that gives you just for A4, and then one that does just A4 square, it's 2 for 1.
Yeah, that's it. And but when it comes to you, it comes. It doesn't look like it would do the job because it comes like that. Because obviously, yeah, this is.
It wouldn't go through the door, would it?
This is the code we've got here is 42281 on that one.
There we go.
Yeah.
And that's got a £3 saving on as well. So it's not essential, but I was definitely, when I was tracing out earlier, I was concentrating on that heart.
Yeah.
And the parchment was going over the side.
Yeah.
And it was definitely going to crease. So this is where that
comes into play. So looking at this heart now, let's just leave this away and let's just go to the heart. So for the sake of visual ease, let's just take a look at this heart. So I was thinking that maybe we could look at a couple of samples. Now, Hazel Edwards has done a really cool sample here, and you can see she's literally taken the, just humour me here, I'll show you. She's taken the heart as it comes, she's layered it up, so we've got 2, and then she's pico cut it out, and she's ignored this. So there's lots and lots of mileage. Every single plate has got a lot of play, right? But it's great for embossing with the dots. It's great for pattern building around the outside. It's great for perforating and cutting. So these are real practice plates.
That's right. And you've got the frames. You can intermix all the frames as well with the different designs.
So let's take this one. And also, let's just point out that we've got fabulous, I love this Art Deco font. that Jazz has added down here, and you've already got the instant box. If you wanted to, let's say, put it over the top of the heart, you just do that, and then wrap the heart around it. So that works. If with the box, it's very easy. Happy anniversary without the box.
And
so
it means if that was a stamp, that happy anniversary was a stamp, that's all you'd be able to do with it, really, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that's right.
But with the Groovi, you can then split the words up as well.
Exactly. So that's like for the starting, that's a great starting place.
Yes.
Now let's go to Glynis's artwork. Same heart, same heart. This time Glynis has taken it a little bit further.
How different.
Yeah. So she's used the outside that's there. She's used the plate exactly as it comes. You see here, she's used that design. But, and here we take our straight grid at an angle, and I'll show you that this is how she's perforated within those boxes. So when I say they work together, this is, you see, you could do that freehand and you could perforate with a tunic. Yeah, exactly. Or you could slot this underneath, go to the front, and then you've literally got your holes pre-drilled, because these are all pre-drilled. There are thousands of little holes in there, and you just perforate through, and you've got a perfect spacing, perfect cutting opportunity straight away.
That's right, because something as delicate as this, if you, I know for me from experience, with a 2-needle tool, would I get it as perfect as that? No.
No.
The grid, like the Groovi plates are my saviour when it comes to creating the line art. The grid for perfecting my picot cutting to get that great straight line.
Exactly. And if you look at the triangles around the outside, Glynis has used those triangles with the grid as well. So she's literally just infilled the triangle from the back with the number 2 tool from the starter kit.
Yeah.
And that's how she's infilled that as well. So that's how these two start to work together.
And because they're called piercing grids, you automatically think, oh, I can only pierce with them, but you can't.
No.
Because of the way in which they're designed, and our Groovi number 2 tool, it gives you that lovely sort of, they're perfect for infills as well, aren't they?
Exactly,
just like Glynis has done on that little corner.
Okay, so what else did you want to talk about there? We've got.
So I think we've got that covered, haven't we? How we can show that, and then you took this heart,
right,
and then you compared it with a pattern in the book.
Exactly.
Didn't you?
Yeah. Well done. So what we did was we've taken the plate, right, and we've shown you now how you could take that plate and you can use the pattern that Jazz has given us. So don't forget, if we take a little look at all of these, there are so many different options. These are quite open, you see. So you can fill, cut out, ignore every other line. You see what I mean? You can change.
Take the pattern out.
Take the pattern out. Put the stripes in the candles. Put the stripes across the back of the candles. You just move the parchment around, but there are lots and lots of opportunities. And every single one of these has got a really lovely frame as well. Every single one's different. So these are, again, I'm going to use the word practice plates.
Yes.
I mean, you get beautiful designs, 12 of them.
I think if you're starting out on your Groovi journey as well, as you said at the beginning, if you've been sitting on the fence and you're thinking, oh, I don't know where to get started, you've got the starter kit, or you're going to get the starter kit, then this would be a good, because it's going to cover you through the festive season coming up very easily. Just trace them out exactly as they come. And then you've got this collection that you can, I mean, this frame around here, you could use that with the flowers, with the thank you, with the happy birthday.
Oh, yeah.
You've got the mistletoe there. Don't trace in the holly.
Absolutely.
And it's a lovely
It's
frame.
all there for you.
Yeah.
You know, just these four corners, and ignore all this part in the middle.
It could be a birdhouse, couldn't it?
Or you put the bells in there.
Yeah.
You put a little bird in
A
there.
little birdie.
Okay.
Or a mouse.
So what I was thinking was as well, if we took this heart now, let's show how it works. I think it's time to show how it works now, and then we can look at some more artwork.
Okay.
But just quickly, if I was to take my, let's just go for it now, right? If I wanted to use this, I've taken the heart and I'll turn it over. I've used the heart now, let me show you, and I've just take my tumble dryer sheet, I rub my tumble dryer sheet, I trace out with the number 1 tool, I trace out the heart, exactly. So now, let's say I want to divide the heart. I want to split the heart. Even though the heart's not split, what I can do is look for a plate. So there are lots of different opportunities here
Mm-hmm.
to find the splits if I want it. I can go, I can look, there are down the side, do you see down the side of there?
Yeah.
So I can just hold it like so, just let's split the heart.
Yeah.
Right, so I'm using the tumble dryer sheet to, yeah.
Like so.
So I'm going to go like that, and then let's say I'm going
See,
to
this
come
is where
down
that
here.
plate mate comes into play, because you're left-handed. You're leaning over the edge of your plate, aren't you?
I am. So that would be ideal if I had something there. But I'm just showing you that that's a really easy thing to do.
Yeah.
Right. So let me just take that out of the way now, because the heart's done its job. I've got my split. I've done that.
Yeah.
So now, how do I? Let's have a look, and I'm going to show. I'm going to do it though to show you.
Yeah.
But if we go to the guide, for example, don't worry, Paul. You'll get your chance.
Yeah, no.
Right.
I think this is important to show how you've now taken what Linda's provided for us in this grid and now putting it into practice.
That's what I think. I think it's important to see what the difference is, because obviously you can use the plates just as they come, and you can use the patterns within the plates. They will give you patterns. But I think it's for somebody who wants to learn and hone their parchment skills. This is a fantastic book, and it's working off the back of 2 different little mini plates, which I think are very affordable.
These are really nice to accompany this, because if you've got the starter kit, they're going to fit in there. And the plates that have been designed to work with them, there's no extending or anything. It's all about the pattern building, isn't it?
Well, and also the grids, we do them in different sizes. When we get these, we actually outsource this. This is precision drilling, and we actually pay per hole.
I know.
We do.
That's bad.
Yeah, it really is. So the very fine grids cost a fortune. So we decided that this would be by far the most cost-effective way to do it, because in effect, in reality, you're only ever using that much. You're never going to use more than that area, are you?
No.
You just shovel it along if you need it. So that's why we thought this would be a great idea. So you've got the straight, you've got the diagonal, and then you need the 1 needle bowl tool.
Yes.
If you're going to do it. And then you need the wooden tool from the starter kit.
Yeah.
So that's about the sum of it in that regard.
Yeah.
But let's have a look. If I wanted to just go to the very first, let's just go to the very first pattern.
Good to start at the beginning.
Yeah, let's start at the very beginning. So we've got the straight grid pattern, and you can see here, we take the straight grid, and what Linda's done is and let me come in really tight on this, because I don't think you can see this very well. Now you can. Now I think you can probably see it better. In fact, I'm coming in.
Coming in.
Right, now you can see, if this is the grid here.
Those squares are the grid, yeah.
Right, then we're perforating every other 4, miss 4, 4, miss 4, and then we're alternating. 4, miss 4, 4, miss 4.
Yeah.
Right, so first we're going to do that. Then this is it. So the black dots, and it said it right at the beginning, just in case you're wondering: perforate on grid, emboss dot on grid, freehand emboss line, freehand emboss dots.
Yeah.
So perforate on grid. Okay.
So
let's
black is the grid and color is freehand.
So perforate, right? And then the green for the perforations.
Yeah.
Pattern 1 for the perforations, and the large dots have been embossed freehand using the 3mm, the number 3 ball tool, or the number 4 ball tool in the starter kit. Again, in the starter kit, that's what I used to make the balls, the white bits. Do that from the back. And I thought when I was doing this, I thought, well, hang on a minute. I learned that you always do the perforating last, but actually, when you do it this way round, it's obvious. Because what happens is you make a little house, you make like a little nest for the ball, for the embossing.
Right.
If you try to do the embossing first, you
You've
wouldn't.
got no guidance.
No, you wouldn't have
no.
any. So the way to get perfect centering is really, really easy. And then the third step, see, the red cut tells you where to cut if you wanted to get that pattern. So we've gone from that kind of infill to then that kind of infill, easy.
Yeah.
Or you can take it to the next level to that kind of infill. And then Linda showing off, she's done with the lines. You can take the number 1 tool and you can make fine lines on a soft mat. If you use the black mat, you can put the lines in and make a completely different pattern. So the green lines are showing you the embossed lines.
Yes.
Right. So can I show?
Yeah. I think we should. I think we should see it in place.
I think it's a really good idea to see this.
Yeah.
So as far as the actual holes go, Right, next thing, can you see the holes? Can you see the holes? Well, yeah.
Depends on your lighting.
Depends on your lighting.
Your glasses.
On your glasses. We'll give it a go without a light wave.
Okay.
But I think you'll agree, you'll watch. So what I need, for example, I'm going to use a black soft foam mat.
Yeah, the super foam,
right,
which we have on the show.
So we've got a black soft foam mat,
yeah,
which is...
I'll grab
if you
over
could
those
do that,
items.
yeah.
So the item number for the black super foam is 41957, and that's $9.99. So just put that code into the search. So there we go.
So that's 41957.
Yeah.
Super foam. What that means is it's really thick. So when you go through it with a pin, with the perforating tool or a pin, you're not going to keep stabbing your coffee table or
your lap.
or your lap. And then you need a white one if you're going to use the light wave.
That's right. So item number for that is 40603.
So you've got choices now. But the thing is that they're super thick like
10 mil.
10 mil
depth.
thick.
So
that means that even on the light wave, if you use that, when you start perforating, it's translucent, so it doesn't, the light's diffused but not disappeared.
It is, and it doesn't damage when you're perforating your the screen on your light panel. Yes.
So let's take this now, right? And now I'm going to use let's just show you how this works. So I want to perforate here. So what I need to do that, I need my
plate mate from the starter kit.
Plate mate from the starter kit and my inset from the starter kit. And then I need my straight grid. I think sometimes this is very easy to do, but you've got to see it done.
Yeah,
right?
Definitely. And with the word groovy, I mean, with a grid, there's no right or wrong way to it. And with a groovy plate, you need to be able to read the word groovy in the top.
So we're going to have an experiment now.
Okay.
Right. I'm going to do this with my eyes closed. No.
Stand back. She's got a one needle bolt in her head.
No, what I'll do is I'll do it without the light wave.
Yeah.
Because I've always said the light wave is a luxury.
Yeah.
But then actually when you use the light wave, you realise that why would you put yourself through that without the light wave?
Because Barb was prepping yesterday, playing around with the patterns and stuff.
Yeah.
And she went, where's the light wave? I need a light wave.
I can't see what I'm doing.
We're doing it in here. We've got really bright light studios.
I think as well, you reach a certain age, I've got to be honest, I'm 65 now, and my eyes are not what they should be.
Mine
or
are
could
not,
be.
Hence very focals.
And he's a lot younger than me. And the other thing, what I want to do is I'm going to use, these are like magnifiers. These are what I call me Dame Ednas. Right, and I can't see a thing with these. Like
I'm over here.
Yeah. Has he got a kind face? But what it does is it does help. It makes the holes a lot bigger. Steady.
Should we zoom in a little bit, do you reckon?
Yes.
Yeah.
What about if we go to the, hang on, I can't see anything here. Right, let's go to that and see if we can see what I'm doing.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's great. So if I hold this in place, I'm see the squares that are the, they're exactly the same size, the plate as the grid.
Yes.
Which is great. I mean, you could put it anywhere you like. Also, I've already done half, so I can feel it.
They relocate back in,
it relocates. But if you're starting with a fresh side, let's go to the fresh one, it moves around, obviously, doesn't it? Right. So what I've got to do now is I'm deliberately keeping my head out of the way here.
We're on the front camera, so you're okay.
Right. So what I'm going to do now is just hold it like that, and I just want to use my groovy tabs now to attach that artwork to the, I've got them all over the...
Good way of keeping them, isn't it, on your plate, mate?
It is,
and on your groovy guard.
Yeah, and so the groovy guard is the next thing that I'm going to use to hold this down while I'm working. So if, for example, just humour me here, if I go to number 1, I'm going to come in really tight because I want you to see the holes through the clear parchment. Obviously, if I was using coloured parchment, Paul,
that would be a lot more difficult.
It would be a lot more. So you can see that easily.
As you press down, yes.
See, as soon as you press down, so you use your groovy guard, and it holds it in place, and you can see exactly where I am.
Yes.
Right. And the thing about the groovy guard is that it holds it in place while I'm perforating. So you watch the expert, and I am no expert.
No.
Right.
Same here. And you're doing the perforating from the front of your artwork,
I'm doing the perforating from the front.
Yeah.
Always perforate from the front, emboss from the back.
Yeah.
So let's say, for example, if I wanted to, see, I found it easiest if I'm going to go, do you know what I did yesterday when I did this? I literally started bang in the middle like that.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4. Then I've got 4 here. Then I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Then I'm going to count 4. So another 2 missing. Then I check what I'm doing. Then I realise I haven't got my Dame Edna's on. Right? Oh, that's better.
Can you imagine trying to do this freestyle, like a 4-needle bold off, for example? You wouldn't get the perfection, would you?
No. Then I've done those ones.
Yeah.
Right. Then I'm going to do a whole row. And what I've found when I do this is that I look before I drill. Right.
Yes.
So I look and I think to myself, yeah, happy with that. So now I'm coming down a row, and I'm going to go in there. And once you miss 4, do 4. Miss 4, do 4. Okay?
And it doesn't take long to come together, does it?
No. But what I find is I've just got to stop and look, and then when it comes to the edge,
yeah.
I honestly think it's better to, if it's on the line, leave it.
Yeah.
Right, so go on, Paul.
Because you can always go back in. That's what I was doing yesterday when I was doing the embossing part of the dots to infill an area. I was sort of staying away from the solid crisp white line. And then when I looked at it overall, I thought, right, could I get another one in there? And then I did, because what I found yesterday, I was trying to do it and I'm thinking, yes, no. And then I lost my way. And then I was making a mistake.
I think also you got to remember we're live TV here, and I'm standing up doing this, hovering. When you're doing this in the peace of your own home, you know this does require a bit of counting. It does require a bit of focus, but you can see how easily this is coming together.
Yeah.
So you can do like just that bit there, just the pattern there. Wouldn't that look lovely?
Yeah, it's like a ribbon band going across it.
This is my point. You don't have to fill the whole thing. You could do a ribbon band across the two. On this one, I've just done half. Do you see what I'm getting at? So let's humour me here, and then it's over to you.
Do you want the light panel just to show the comparison?
Yeah, that's a good idea. That's what I wanted to do, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So if I can't see a thing with it. Let's take them off. Right. So you've seen this done now.
Yeah.
On without a light panel. So let's move this out of the way. Let's put the light panel in.
Okay.
Okay.
So it comes at the moment. It comes with a translucent foam.
That's
which
a
is
thin
the thin
one.
We spoke about the white super foam earlier, which we also have on the show. I mean, look at the price on that light panel, $49.96. So you already got a £13 saving, which is the cover.
Oh,
because
right.
you need to protect it, don't you? So it comes with a lovely. It's like a laptop cover.
So I've just got to pop this in as well.
Yeah.
That came out. So I'm just going to slide that in like
perfectly
that.
Back into
it slides
position.
right back into position, like so. So now I've got my same image, but it's on the white. So should we turn it on and see what happens? Let's hope it's plugged in.
1, 2, 3.
So now you can see.
Look at that.
And I got to say, on clear parchment, I think with the right pair of glasses and a lot of illumination in the room, you can get away with it. But as soon as you change the colour of the parchment, it's certainly easier.
Yes,
it's 100% easier. I can tell you now that I can see better. So I just got to make sure that it's all slotted in. You know when it's flat, right? And then we're just going to go again. And so as far as the light wave goes, I'm a big fan of the light wave. They work on battery packs as well, don't they?
Yeah, if you've got those like that you would use for your phone charger, it's a micro USB connector. It comes with a plug. It's like the Apple plugs. A lot of plugs now are USB connectors, aren't they?
Yeah.
And so you can use that. So if you're going away crafting for the weekend, or you're going around to a friend and there isn't plug points, then one of those battery charger things is perfect for that.
So can you see that, or that's too light, isn't it?
A little bit too, yeah.
Yeah, we'll go back to this one, and then we'll just okay. But the point I'm making is, for ease, if you can swing it, I do think that
Christmas is around the corner.
Christmas is around the corner. What was the price on the light wave?
It is $49.96. So you've got a £13 saving. The item number for that is 30566. And if we go on to any of the Clarity Craft cards, get up to a maximum of 15% discount.
Well, there we are then. Happy days. So let me just take all this off here now for a moment. Let's move. Let's dismantle this, because I want to go to step 2 of this simple grid. And what I think is worth bearing in mind, right, is that we've used the heart shape from the practice plates, which are these practice plates. Okay, so we've used the heart shape in the bottom left-hand corner there, but other than that, and we've used the outside bit, but other than that, now we've moved on to, with the help of the starter kit and the plate mate, we've moved on to the grids.
Yes.
Right. So now you know that, remember Pinocchio when he used to say, "Now I'm a real boy." Right? When you start doing the grids, it's like, "No, I'm a real parcher." Yeah.
A real critter.
A real critter. Yeah. So it does work. Now, this was the bit that interested me when I only went as far as the first trick, but if you go back in here, right?
So zoom out a little bit now.
Yeah, zoom out a little bit. No, actually, that's great, Paul.
Okay.
Look, so we've done that.
Yes.
Accomplished with the light wave, without the light wave.
Yeah.
Now I want to show you this, because this was of interest to me. Right. So let's have a look at this. If we go to this now, okay, hard surface. I definitely need a soft surface underneath this to do the next job. So I'm going to pop the soft mat underneath here.
So that's the reverse of the black mat that comes in the starter kit.
And now I flipped it over. So now this is smooth.
Yeah.
When you flip over, it's like serrated. You can see, obviously, it's very scratchy. I'll leave it in tight so you can see it.
Okay.
Now I want to show you, if I use the tools. So let's use the 4. This one here, it's from the starter kit.
Yeah.
Let's use that one. Now I want to check, because let's say I'm quite new to parchment, and I'm maybe a little bit heavy-handed, and I've already blown my money on a light wave. Yeah. And then Barbara comes along and goes, "Oh, and now you need a pink mat."
Pink mat.
Right? Because Paul always uses a pink mat, and then you think, "No, hang on a minute, save the pink mat. It's brilliant, right?"
That's a stocking filler.
It's the stocking filler.
Or a Happy New Year present.
But if you bought, they're going to be like, "Cool, it's only going to cost me 500 quid to make this up." You need the starter kit, you need the light wave, you need the plates, you need the thing is, it is an investment.
It is, and it's an addiction, because when you see how easy it is to achieve a lovely result.
Oh yeah. It's an art form.
Yes.
And so it's an investment, and it does cost money to start. But once you've got everything, you've got everything.
It's the parchment.
And then it's just a question of groovy plates and design. Yeah. And that's the truth of it.
It is.
You know, once you've got all the gear, you'll only ever need one needle bolt. You'll only ever need one starter kit. You'll only ever need one set of grids.
One pink mat, one light. Yeah. You might want 2 if you're traveling around.
Yeah.
One's sufficient.
So I think that's worth knowing. I mean, I'm a potter. I'm a ceramicist. If you think this is a big investment, you want to get in my garage with me.
You've got a proper wheel, haven't you? And a kiln. Yeah.
And everything else. All the gear,
but
no idea.
It was the investment, wasn't it? So now just the consumables, which is the clay.
And the electric.
There's no electric involved in this, so you'll be saving money there.
So, but let me show you. If you haven't got the pink mat and you're using the soft side of the black mat that's in the starter kit, if you take a poly bag, so when you buy something, it comes in a bag.
Comes in, yeah.
Yeah. So you take this poly bag. Let me show you. And what we're going to do is we're going to take this poly bag. See it? There's that film, and I'll slide it underneath. So now I'm giving myself. So I've got a layer. I've got the black. Squidgy. I've got the poly bag. Yeah. And then I've got the parchment. The parchment.
Yeah.
So we can do this, what I've already used, or we can go to where I already have been, where I've tried it. Let's stick to the new one.
Okay.
Now I'm going to use my
See this groovy guard. And I know many of our friends that have been doing it for a while, they've got about 3 or 4 of the groovy guards.
I've got about 40 of them, so I'm going to find mine. I could paper a wall with groovy guards.
Quite nice.
Well, you know when we do the parchment retreat?
Yes.
And we bring the groovy guards and everybody gets one. Half of them come from my stash.
So if you want a Groovi guard, it's 40345, and it's only £3.98.
Let me just see. No, we're going to go to the overhead. I think the overhead is best.
Yeah.
Now I've got my here, and what I'm doing is I'm going inside, not inside here, because I'm going to cut those bits out if I want to. But let's say here, I've got to go into that area there to make my dot. So now, as soon as I started doing this, I thought, oh, I get it. I understand now why I'm doing the perforating first. Because otherwise, how on earth would you ever get that straight? You couldn't.
No.
See? And as you go around, you go north, south, east, west, and then round the houses. So you go north, south, east, west, and round the houses. Like that, round and around the garden, like a teddy bear. So you go in the middle, gently press, and then you'll find that the perforations stop you going any further.
Yeah.
Do you see?
It does. Deborah's asked a question. Is your Lightwave a UK plug or a USB? So it's a UK plug, but it comes out, it's got a USB connector that goes into the plug. So you can use it abroad as well.
But you can see now how easily you can line it up so straight, right?
Yeah.
So whether you do that or not, and I would go 2 generations of embossing on this. So for example, now we're going to jump across, and then we'll just do these ones. So you do.
I suppose by the time you've done that one level of the infill, you can go back and then start at the top again, can't you?
So you do that, but it's so nice to do as well. And because I've put this little poly bag underneath here, right? It kind of acts as a it stops you going too hard. So I've taken the poly bag out now, right?
So Karen McGraw is saying that she kept her black mat in the packaging that it came in.
Yeah.
So not only does it protect the front of the black mat.
Oh, good idea.
But then she just flips it over and she hasn't got to go hunting for a cello bag.
Is it a bit slippery?
I suppose it could be on the front, couldn't it? Yeah.
But it's a good idea. It certainly works. Yeah, so you can see how, and this is again practice. Once you've done this a little while, you know. I mean, if I press too hard, I'm going to go straight through. Yeah. Especially the smaller the ball tool, the more likely I am to perforate.
Yes.
Or puncture, if you like.
Yeah.
So, so this is just a safety net to pop that there. You know, until you've saved up for your pink mat.
Back in the day before, I mean, obviously we knew Pergamano existed back in the day, and we used to stock the tools. And it wasn't until we actually owned the company that we realised there was all this available and all that pink mat.
No, that's right. And also the tools, the beautiful, the multi-needle tools.
Do you remember when we got them? We was in your studio, and there was all these multi-needle tools, and they had the little symbols at the end of them. I was saying, oh, what's it? And we had a soft mat, and we had the parchment, and we were like stabbing the parchment. So what's that do?
What are we doing with this?
Yeah. And now,
thank goodness, Linda Williams came to the rescue.
Yes.
Yeah, because it's so beautiful. But going to what we're doing here, the grids are so fantastic, aren't they? So really, I just wanted to show you. See, and once you've done that, you could go down to a smaller ball tool, let it rest a little while. Like these are the ones I've already done over here. Let's say that one went wrong. Yeah, but it's a practice.
It is.
And you know what? When you've done it, like I'll show you. Like, so I've done these.
Yeah.
And now I'm going back in to make them whiter.
Yes.
Okay. So, and you can feel it as soon as you go in. The parchment's relaxed, and it's got a bit more purchase. It's not shiny.
Flexible, doesn't it? As well.
Yeah. And then if you wanted to make so now I'm showing off. If I go in with a number 2 tool, I can go in and I'm pushing the edge, so it makes it like a button. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
But you hold it perpendicular rather than at an angle. And then as you go in like that, you can feel you're pushing the outer edge and you're making it crisper. But don't forget, I've got my plastic
safety mat with
I've got my safety net.
Yeah.
But if you do that, let me show you this. These plates are there. See how sharp that makes those. Now the cutting, this is a practice one.
Yeah.
But I'm going to show you anyway. If I come in on the overhead, let me come out a little bit and then come in a bit again. That sounds a bit crazy, but I've got to do this because I'm going to hold it up to show you now. If I take my scissors.
Yes.
Well, shall we show the scissors?
Yeah.
Because what I want to do is go right, just the very first step in the book. So Now imagine how much is, look at this, look at this, look at this. This is all diagonal. At that end, halfway through the book, it turns to the diagonal grid. The first half of the book is all packed with brilliant patterns. And you work your way through them.
Yeah, and what was it Linda said when when she sent all this through, and you there was you, Jazz,
it's a
and
good
putting
start.
the book together.
We spent months doing this.
And putting it all together, and you went, "That's brilliant." And what did Linda say?
It's a good start.
Yeah, it's the tip of the iceberg.
It's the tip of the iceberg. It's a good start, and we were like, "Whoa!" But the thing is, and this is where I think today is a really exciting day for anybody who is doing the line art, doing the white work, doing the colouring, and then it's like that. I got a text, ironically, I got a message yesterday from a lady who really wants to get into grid work. Where do I begin? She said, where do I start? And I thought, well, tune in at 10 o'clock because, timing is everything. To me, this is the perfect starting place for grid work.
It really, really is. And when you look, and you're just on that one project already, and now you're putting it into practice. Many of our friends at home may have plates already that they can use it to incorporate these designs now.
But when you're well, of course, even seasoned, this is great because it gives you structure. But when you look at this, just this one example, so I've done that, count, count, count. I've done that, emboss, emboss, emboss. Right, go to the front, go to the back. Tells you exactly what to do. Now cut out. Let's see if we can do this. There you get that lovely quilted effect.
I know, it does,
so good. So now, if I take my scissors, right, Paul, you do your bit with the scissors.
Okay, so we have 3 different types of scissors available for you. Okay, we have our exclusive scissors, which is item number 70040. So these are where I remember we started back in the day. Do you remember that video we watched?
Oh,
okay. So there's those. So if you're starting out, it's a good place to start. So the price on those is $10.99 plus your club discount. Then as you progress up and you think, right, I really like the hang of this, there's 2 alternative options. You have your ring lock, and as you can see, they've got slightly larger apertures.
They've got
there,
bigger,
and they've got a
finger.
Yeah. So like for me, they're perfect. They're more comfortable. And
also they sort of lock, don't they?
Yes, they've got that sort of, they don't just fly open.
I mean, me personally, I like these ones, the less expensive ones. I'm happy with them. But they work the same, just if you've got fatter fingers, basically.
Yeah, like me. And then we have our perga cutters or our squizzers. So the item number for that is 70042. So maybe you've got some dexterity issues, and these are sort of that squeezing. So there's no pressure applied anywhere around the outside of the finger, and it's just squeezing.
But they've all got a curl on them. So if you look at them, they all curl upwards, don't they? Whether you're using those ones or the ones that I like, the exclusives, they've all got this curl.
Yeah, and we call that the position, the spoon position. Then you've got the fork position going down.
Traditionally, do you remember when we started? Traditionally, we were watching this video and we were watching, and I was cramping up.
It was like that, wasn't it? Yeah, there was these tiny little scissors.
And then it was in that position.
Yeah.
And I said, there's no way, I can't do that.
I had no bingo wings here, but over here, because this arm, I don't know, why is this arm going?
Why is my shoulder? I know. So then Linda came along and she said, right, let's do it like this. Put your thumb in there.
Yeah.
Right. Put your thumb in there. Put your finger in there. And we've got the spoon, so it's curling up.
Curving up.
So now I've got these fingers here that hold that like so.
Gives it some balance.
Right. And that's how I'm holding it.
Yeah.
So I'm holding it in that shape. So if I take and this, don't forget, this is practice. This isn't for best. This is this is what I'm going to learn. This is where I'm going to learn how to cut.
Yes.
This is right. So you hold your scissors over the bit that's going to fall away, which is called the waist.
Yeah.
Can you see that? So that's why I wanted to do this. So if I put the tips in there, and I'm deliberately doing it so that my finger is underneath, so I can feel it. If I stab myself, then I know that I've gone in too deep with the scissors. And then I click.
Turns red.
I'm cutting out this little. I'm making a little cross in there, and I tip, and then I squeeze.
Shall I zoom in a little bit, Barb, while you're doing that?
Go on then.
See if I can get it the right way. Wrong way. All right.
You had one job.
I know. Left or right, and I went wrong.
There, see?
Oh, yeah.
Let's do another one. Let's do this one here. So you go in there, and you tip, and snip. Then you come to this one, go in and snip. Then you turn again, and I'm always holding the scissor over the bit that's going to fall away. See, over the little cross. So go in again and snip. I'll take that away, and there's my little cross.
Your little cross.
Right? It's very addictive.
That's how I perfected my picot cutting, was on crosses.
Was it?
Yeah, because I always struggled with like a straight line because it just didn't look right.
Turn it. I mean, when you get into, you're going all the way along, then you'll find that people do all those ones. Then I'm just showing you how to get a sense of achievement is to do one cross at a time, one snip at a time. Keep rotating, and
it's that
and they get better and better as you look.
Yeah,
that was the first one I did. Right, and then as I get better at it, you go in.
Your hand warms up, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It gets used to it needs to be in.
Snip. So this is. It's optional, this. The pattern looks lovely whether you do this or don't do this.
Yeah.
But if you want to learn, what a great opportunity this is. And it didn't take much to do make the hole ready to snip.
No, because there's no guesswork, is there? Because the grid, you're following that pattern from Linda.
Yeah.
I mean, when I was working out yesterday, I was going to do some infilling to one of them. I did it on a scrap piece of paper first.
Yeah.
A scrap piece of parchment.
Yeah.
And I thought, right. And you just get that mindset going. So you go, okay, so I need to do this. And then you go to the pattern and you go, right. And then all of a sudden it starts coming. Before you know it, you filled up this piece of parchment that was a scrap. That I should have used it.
Yeah, and it's perfect.
Yeah.
But if we go back to these plates, right, this is really, for me, this is the whole point of this. If we look at these two plates, let me just pan out a little bit here and we can have a look at those two plates. And you'll see here, just using, and all I've done is gone to that one element. I haven't even touched any of the other ideas or any of the other patterns in the book. So this investment, and it is an investment, a pair of training plates, right, a book that Linda Williams has designed showing you how to use straight grids and how to use diagonal grids, and then a little pair of mini grids. And you do need a one needle, and obviously you've got to have some sort of embossing
to do the embossing.
But this is a fantastic investment.
It is, and if you're looking for something, say maybe over Christmas or something, you don't want to be in the kitchen or whatever, and you want to just go and escape somewhere for an hour or so. I mean, it'll be longer than an hour because when you start doing this,
and it's what our friend Elizabeth says. She says the more you do, the better you get.
Yeah.
And the better you get, the more you want to do.
Absolutely.
And this is one of those. Like I could have now spent the next hour just because I'm so chuffed with myself that I've worked out how to do those little crosses.
Yeah.
And then when you do that, after a while, you think, right, I want to learn the next thing. So you go to the book and you think, right, what's next?
Yeah.
So you go, and it's like a course. It's like a proper grid work course.
And
when you very achievable.
And adding in those lines, freestyle as well, can really change the look of it, can't it?
This here. Yeah, and that's done on the back with a ruler and a one needle tool, or Linda, well, we go back and forth. You can either use a one needle tool or you can use a one needle bolt.
I'm a groovy person. Yeah, I mean, groovy person for me, I go with the wooden tools. They do it for me. But as you say, the one needle
if you want it really super fine, you use a one needle bolt tool and you just drag it and it stretches the parchment. It gives you that fantastic line. I tell you what we'll do, Paul. I don't know how you feel about this. We'll have a little recap on the product so that we can have a look at, see what it is.
Okay.
Right. So we'll look at the product, and then I think maybe we should look at some beautiful artwork.
Yeah, definitely.
And look at the plates.
See where it's come from.
And see where it's come from.
Yeah.
I think it's a really good idea.
Definitely. So if you're interested in the plates, you can buy them with a £8 saving. So this is brand new. They only launched, they launched unofficially last night in the shack. 42401. $39.98. You've got an £8 saving plus your club discount on there. They are available individually as well. So maybe if you just wanted to go for the rosy one, then we've got that one available. Or if you just wanted the festive one, but really that's saving. There we go. So we've got the rosy one on the screen, which is 42396. That's $23.99. Then we have our festive sampler from Jazz. Item number 42395, $23.99. Then, if you want to go for Linda's new guide to grid work with those two grids, You've then got the bundle, which is item number 21224. Or if you just want to go for the book because you've already got the grids at home, then the item number is 31723, and that's £11.99.
So let me ask you, Paul.
Yes.
Because obviously we're going to just indulge some lovely artwork now.
Yeah.
Right. But we did actually prep two beautiful pieces of artwork. What we're going to do anyway is Paul's going to, you're going to get involved with one of these finished pieces. We'll work through a finished piece of artwork
at 2 o'clock.
At 2 o'clock. But then the downloads is what I was getting to. So let's just have a look at the artwork and show you the downloads.
Okay. So these two pieces have been created. This one here from the lovely Josie and this one here from Jane Telford. So when we look at this one here, if I bring this up to the screen, you can see you've got that lovely design of the rose from Jazz, but it's been infilled in the background just by embossing.
Yeah.
On that one. Just the dots.
And is that a diagonal or straight?
That one is a diagonal.
Okay.
Used on that one. A diagonal one is better for infilling irregular shapes.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay, good to know.
And then this one from Jane, so this is using the star, and look at that. That's using the straight to infill.
So she's just used the straight. Look at that, looky, right? And then she's just missed out the middle one. Look, so you do a whole row and then you go every other one. Then you do a whole row, then you do every other one. Then you do a whole row, then you do every, and that's how you get that checker. Love it.
And if you wanted to, where there's that empty space,
you could cut it.
You could perforate, put a perforation in the middle.
You could put a little prick in there. You could.
So what we also have on our Clarity TV, we have these project downloads. So you can go onto the Clarity website, and in the top right hand corner there's a turquoise button that says Clarity TV. When you click into there, it allows you to go back and catch up, but it also has the downloads of these two particular demos, what it looks like and what's been used. You can click the hyperlink or the blue highlighted area, and it will take you straight to that project, to that product on the website.
And they're all linked, aren't they?
They are, yes. So you literally, so if you think, right, I want Jazzy's festive sampler, I'll click that and it will take me straight to the website. So
let's say if I look at my phone now, just to show you, it's got here Clarity TV. That's that teal button that we're looking for.
Yeah.
So if I click that
on there,
then it goes to all the products
that we're currently showing here today.
Right.
Yeah.
Now this is a little bit small. We're going to get this made bigger. Right, but here it says catch up and craft, click here.
Yes.
So if I click there, and we will make that bigger because otherwise you'll miss it, what you'll see is this is where the demo, so we were on Tuesday at 2 o'clock, for example.
With Linda's, yeah.
Right, and then it says shop the show here, download the instructions here.
Yeah, and then you've got the demo that we looked at, which is there.
So if I press that, there's the demo, and it gives you the download that you can see. So going back, if you want to know how that angel was made and what was used, all the blue links take you straight to the product. Yeah, you can
literally just click one of those and it will take you straight to that product.
And that will be exactly the same
for this show and all of our Clarity Social TV shows going forward.
So even though we haven't actually taken a project straight through from start to finish, although Paul will, I'll step back.
Yeah.
We decided that it was a better idea to show you the connection. How do I use the practice plates? How do I connect that with the grids? What's the point of the book? So my job today was to just make the connection between the practice plates, the book, and the baby grids.
And also, because do you just go for the grids? Why would you just go for the grids? And so to have, if it is, you always describe Groovi as being as like a bus journey.
Yep.
Stop one is tracing out the outline, the artwork. Then you get confident with that. Then you move on to the next one, whether it's the white work or the colouring, and you keep going. That bus gets further and further away. Yeah. And this, for me, is another step on that bus journey. It's the next journey.
After, you know, in the Groovi Tuesday, you've embarked on this bus journey several times, but a lot of people get left behind because they're not quite ready to do it then.
Yeah.
And this, I think, this manual, this how-to manual, this grid book that Linda has now developed for us, that's a game changer.
And we said, didn't we, that going forward on Groovi Tuesday, starting in December, we'll have a look at these plates together with Linda's book and those grids.
And start working our way through. So it'd be a really great. So then that way you're having a live session with Paul.
Yeah.
You've got your book and off you go.
And we do it together. It's like a little craft along, really, isn't it?
Just to finish, before we can we have a look at a couple of pieces of artwork
Where do you want
and
to
look
go?
at the plates? And then I would say that that would be a brilliant way to go. If, for example, let's look at this one. So we can see here, Glynis Whitehead. Yeah, sorry.
There we go.
Miles out here. So we look at that and we can see there's the plate. She's completely done it as it comes. Let me bring this up. Let me offer it up to the camera. So you can see it's all decoupage. She's picot cut, all those wonderful edges. And that's a multi-needle tool around the outside, which is a semicircle perforating tool.
Yeah.
I'm proud of myself. It's a semicircle perforating tool and it's white work in the middle. So you've done the same thing. You have to perforate it first, then do the bit in the middle.
Otherwise you don't know where to stop.
That's how it makes it perfect. So you perforate the multi-needle, then you flip it over, do the white work.
Yeah.
There you go.
So that's the lovely poinsettia from that particular plate.
Now let's go to the star.
This one's rather special.
This is rather special. So this one's Josie Davison, Queen of Grids.
Okay. So you've got that lovely design from Jazz, and you can see here Josie's then done that, but she's put her own pattern on the inside. She's infilled it.
With the grid.
Yes.
She's used the grid to do that. And then the star on the inside.
And look at this frame.
I know.
That's definitely done with a basic grid, isn't it?
What I also like is the outside. So how did she get this lovely layered effect? So I dug around and I found this plate, right? So this is this plate here. When I overlay it, you can see exactly, let me just get it right. See all the different nests. So it's a scallop nested plate, which is actually a really useful plate. Comes with lots of
this is really nice.
Alphabet.
Because you've got the different, so it's like a nested square, but with design on it.
So if I took that plate, let me humor me here. See that one there, it's perfect, sits inside that. So you've got so many different options, and you can, if you wanted to, I bet there's a scallop on here that you could straight away use, right?
Yeah.
On here somewhere. But the point I'm making is that scallop this is a superb
really nice.
Nested one.
We do the normal A5 square nested scallop, and so this is like your extension. You've got Jane's frame in the middle. Now, Josie, obviously being Josie, there's no faults in there at all, I'm guessing. But for me personally, this piece in the middle would be on a separate piece of parchment that I would then layer up onto. And she's taken the basic grids and she's infilled this frame. So if you like this one, it's item number 41168. It's got a saving of £3 and it's $14.99. And it's got an alphabet, year of the alphabet for clarity.
Superb. And one of the other things is, so that's a really lovely, again, using that star, but changing it. So you can use it as it comes, look, this is lovely. This is from Julie Campbell. So she's used it as it comes and highlighted it like that. Then we've got one here from Glynis. You can see that she's used the center of the star as it comes, but then she's done her
Pico V's
and made a really fantastic mat with it. You know, we ought to look at a bit more artwork.
Yeah.
Let's have a look at this one. The bells.
It was
the bells, you see.
So this one is by Julie Campbell.
This is fantastic. So you can see, and this is one of the things, can I just borrow that? If I offer it up to the camera, you can see that Julie has used this part here. Let me just show you this bit here as a cutting opportunity. So when I come in, she's actually gone in there and cut out that area
with a 2-needle tool to perforate.
There we go.
A steady hand on that.
Yeah. So, but that's how open that is. What you do with it is entirely up to you.
Because you could infill the background, couldn't you, with dots or perforations or the patterns from Linda's book.
Superb, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then this is Carol Pankstello. So she's gone to the candles and done just a beautiful traditional.
That's not, and I reckon that I recognise those sort of little techniques there on that border. If I bring that up, you can see this is where it's been embossed, and then either the 1-needle bold, as you mentioned earlier, or the 1-needle tool, then to just join those up.
And so, I mean, there's more artwork. We'll look at that again at 2 o'clock.
Yeah.
But what I also wanted to show is at the back of the book here, there is a double-page spread of beautiful sample work that's been taken where the grids have been used. And this is showcased during the course. This is where all these patterns have come from.
Yeah.
So you can, it's like, where's Waldo?
Exactly. So I mean, if we have a look at that one that Linda did with the launch of her floral alphabet. So there's a piece of artwork there. And if I bring that up, in the middle of that B, that's actually been perforated using the basic grid.
That's it.
And then all around the outside on that frame, you can see there.
The corners.
Yeah, that's been perforated as well.
And then we got this little fella by Francis Knott. Right, ready? This is when you really get into it. Oh. That is actually achievable.
Wow.
That's grid work. You know what I did right at the beginning of the hour with the 4 on 4 off?
Yeah, and the embossing in the middle.
Yeah, check that out. And here's one more just to show you another Francis Knott masterpiece. Just look at that.
And that's all done from the basic grids.
And it's not that different from what I did.
No, no.
It's not. It's a counting game. It's a counting game. So there you go, friends. I think that brings us to the end of the first hour.
Yeah.
We'll just give you one more shot of the product, one more shot of the grids, and then we'll call it a day. And
we're back at 2. Yeah.
Back at 2. So let's just, first of all, let's have a look at those lovely plates.
So Jazzy's plates, which the item number for that is 42401. You have an £8 saving. It's £39.98. And if you're in the Clarity Craft Club, then you'll get your additional discount. Then on top of that, we have loyalty points, don't we? We have our Clarity loyalty points. And then the second item, so this is the bundle where you can buy the brand new book from Linda Williams. And the item number for that is 21224, together with the 2 A6 square straight mini grids.
It's 212.
Yeah. And that one, and that's got a £6 saving, which means the book is half price.
Marvelous.
So real lovely sort of little stocking filler as well.
Fantastic. Great for actually really great for clubs. You know, if you're working together and you meet every week or every 2 weeks, this is a superb
You could work along side by side.
Yeah, you could work together and get adventurous.
Definitely.
You know? It's all about
and I think
time.
Because the Groovi gives you the system, and then once you realise what you can do with it, because I mean, you look at that and you think,
that's what we did.
It's all these holes. What do you do with it now with Linda's guidance? It's as if she's holding your hand, isn't it? It
Absolutely
really
marvellous. And believe you me, if I can do it, you can do it. So thanks very much for joining us. Thank you, Jim. Thank you, Paul.
Thank you for there's lots of people. 184 still in the room.
Fantastic. And we will see you again.